My name is Jess Cervellon, and I'm super excited to bring you my new podcast, The Juice with Jess. This podcast is going to be about everything in your customer's journey. We're talking acquisition, awareness, making that purchase, retaining that customer, bringing them back around, and everything in between. This is going to be all about delivering dope brand experiences and talking to some really amazing people who are in the customer experience space, the marketing space, and everything in between. Welcome back to another episode of The Juice with me, Jess. This week, I am still in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I am interviewing Alex Vailas, SVP of Brand Marketing at Dyper. Alex, I could sit here and I could talk about your brand, but I actually really would love for you to talk about your brand story.
Yeah, so I work for Dyper, and guess what? We sell diapers.
Dyper, but with a Y.
But with a Y. So Dyper is all about the diapering journey that is the closest to zero. We really care about protecting baby and the planet. And the unique thing about Dyper, other than that it's a really great diaper and great product, is that we prioritize independent testing, transparency, and environmental standards the best that we possibly can, so much so that we can keep diapers out of landfills and turn them into dirt. We're really, from start to finish, a better diapering option.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I do feel like in the generations that we've grown up in, right? Like there's so many bad products out there, especially like in the diaper area for babies. Like we just grow up with like all these like really crappy products. So it's a really amazing mission that like to start out with like sustainability at such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, we want to create environmental advocates with this generation, the alpha generation. It's crazy to think about that.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, I think that a lot of times people think that disposability and sustainability can't go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. We like to think of ourselves not just as a challenger brand in the diapering category that's been dominated by, you know, big CPG for decades, but that we are a challenger brand, really challenging the status quo of saying, why can't it be sustainable? How do we find a way? Mm-hmm. Cloth diapering isn't really, I mean, it's amazing, but very few people can actually do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of new parents have, and listen, I'm not a parent, so I can't have a very valid opinion about this, but what I have seen with a lot of my friends who care about sustainability and disposability and all of these things, you start off with that full intention of wanting to be able to do cloth diapers, but then it becomes really hard because when you're a new parent, like you have a newborn baby,
you're exhausted.
You're tired. Everybody has full intentions, but like nobody really thinks about the consumer and what stage they're actually in that journey, you know?
Right. Convenience is paramount. Convenience has to be there for the parent. They're so tired. And so how do you offer a diaper that you don't even really want to pay for? Let's be honest. We don't want to pay for diapers and toilet paper, and they're expensive. And it smells bad, and you don't even like diapering. So how can we as a brand make this as easy as possible, as accessible as possible, all without the guilt that comes with disposable diapers?
Right. Yeah. I think it's really amazing. I think there's going to be a lot of evolution in these products. Like we already see it so much, right? I think it's because our generation is having babies, you know, and then we think about these things, and then just imagine even when Gen Z has babies, you know, my hope is that it continues down a path of just like better for you products, that you're, you know, putting in your home, right? Like there's so many plastics and like bad things out there. It's like, we don't need to start out a baby's life with something really crappy. No pun intended.
There's so many puns in the diaper space. It's really fun. Yeah, no, I think that's where Gen Z is already in our audience demo, and we are seeing that environmental standards that's table stakes. It's not even like a category defining challenger brand thing. Now most of the diaper brands have some type of environmental message to them, but we are the only ones addressing the end of life. And that's the issue that, yeah, there are a lot of great products out there with better, ingredients and responsible sourcing, which is fantastic. But what happens after it goes to the landfill? Well, it stays there for 500 years.
Yeah.
If it has too much plastic, it stays there for 500 years. It's insane. So it's now become the third largest contributor to waste in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
That's insane.
Right?
That's insane because like that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because as we increase in population, there and the other aspect of it, and these aren't even on my notes, like I'm literally just vibing right now. I'm thinking about this, but like think about it, like even as, more people have babies, not everybody has the same amount of income and the accessibility, right? So it's like, as the population increases and accessibility kind of like decreases, like those statistics do make sense to me. Right. Which actually, that is a question that's like popped up, is like, how is Dyper thinking about accessibility for their consumer?
Yes, it's very top of mind because I think it's over half the population struggles to afford diapers.
Yeah.
It's a lot in the US.
Yeah.
So we entered the market at a premium price point because we, of course, when you think about enough plant-based content to be able to compost the diapers commercially and a lot of things that we optimize for to solve that first problem, we knew that we were entering the market for the eco warrior, for a small group of people. But as we have realized that, especially in partnering with Walmart and entering retail, that's the value shopper, and we've had to really look at our supply chain and our sourcing and work very hard to bring that price down to make it more accessible. And I think we have some other things coming out. I think that will help solve that problem. But last year, we launched a diaper card because before we knew we could offer maybe a new product line that was more economical. Of course, I think a lot of people think about maybe different product strategies. And so that is top of mind, but it takes a while to do that. So in the interim, how can we solve this problem with the product line that we have? Well, we offered a diaper card where when you go to Walmart, you once you got approved for the card, you go to Walmart and you can redeem 3 boxes of diapers at Walmart, which is around 3 months of diapers for free. Just upon approval. You don't need to spend any money. Just upon approval, you can go get free diapers. Yeah. That's a lot of diapers for free. And then as you use the card, the points earn you diapers. So potentially you don't even need to pay for diapers, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then once you're done using diapers, because there's a graduation day, you can then use those points to divert to a savings account for the future of your kiddo. So It's really in line with our mission to protect baby and their future. And future is a word that encompasses the planet, but also just their well-being as far as setting them up for success in life.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. We're glad that Walmart was stoked about it. And obviously it also sends a lot of foot traffic to retail, which is great.
Yeah. The good journey, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to keep your retailers happy, right?
Yeah, right. And that's something where, yes, you can only redeem it there.
Yeah. Well, I think that is an amazing way to like close the loop though, right? Like, I mean, granted, I know we're talking about sustainability and like loyalty building here, but like, I think it's really amazing that you're not just thinking about it from like one channel of like, okay, you're in D2C, like loyalty programs like that mostly sit just on like your online channel, and then you can't really close the loop into like retail. Like you kind of lose that customer's like data and that experience. Oh, yeah. And I think that's a really amazing but differentiator of bridging that gap, right?
You get the data on the consumer.
You get the data.
And now we also launched an app.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about the app.
Yeah, so we launched a diaper app because we realized most of our users for D2C are using their phone. Mm-hmm. So, it's a better, faster experience for your mobile device. And we are able to obviously utilize push notifications, get a better understanding of, what's resonating content wise with our consumer too, because we have 1,000 days of content to support parents in their parenting journey. Cause let's be real, like first time parents is just like, this is like a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
So we want to support our parents, and it's free. Once you become a subscriber, you get access to 1,000 days of content for free, and it's daily advice on your wellness and nutrition and sleep and potty training and diapering, all of that to support your parenting journey. And so, using this app, you can also manage your diaper card. So it's like kind of all in one.
Yeah.
But we launched that in January of this year.
That's an amazing customer journey. Yes. I want to dive even further into it. I would actually like to come back to the beginning, of when you're thinking of the brand strategy and you're thinking about your customer data and the feedback loop that you're getting, what were kind of just walk me through the first steps of even thinking I want to build an app for a diaper company. How did that journey internally happen?
So we actually had an old app. I think it might even still be in the App Store, maybe not. But our founder, Sergio, he had a company prior to Dyper that was all around prenatal care, and it was through an app. And so the foundation of it was before Dyper existed. And so when he realized he wanted to get in the business of diapers, as he was wheeling dirty diapers out to the curb, he thought, wait a second, there's something more here. So he adapted the previous company's app to Dyper and started making an easy subscription service, because that was still pretty new. I mean, we're 6.5 years old. Yeah. So the app was mainly around making subscription convenient and just tracking your delivery and
the basics
just
of
the basics.
subscriptions.
But now that's kind of that's pretty normal. There's nothing earth shattering about the app. It doesn't make you want to download the app. In fact, we're at a place where people don't want to download more apps.
I absolutely agree. I literally, when I was sitting on the plane the other day, I was like, I have time. I'm going to delete my apps.
Yeah. It takes up space on your phone. You're like, what am I use this one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is one where you would want to, just because your baby is changing sizes every month. You're needing to update your subscription and possibly manage your card, possibly also be digesting content every day. And you can put your baby's age in the app. So it's really tailoring your user experience.
Wow.
Yes.
It's truly, with cookies going away.
Of course. As marketers, yes, of course. I mean, we don't talk about that too much, but considering we're on a marketing podcast.
I know. I mean, I literally, that thought just even came to my mind, because the talk about cookies going away only just came up recently, right? But, and so many brands have to think through at this stage, okay, well, if cookies go away, how do I capture that first party data? What are the innovative ways of capturing that data? And I mean, granted, yes, Dyper is a children's company, right? That's for parents. It's a very specific demographic, but I think that's very innovative, rather than just being okay, here's your formula, or here's your diaper, and you scan a QR code. It's you're continuing down that user journey and literally touching them at every single one of their touch points, and you're owning those channels, even with you being in retail and on D2C.
I think that all the credit goes to our CEO. I mean, that's his background, is more in technology. So he actually coded the app. I love that.
I love a digitally native e-commerce brand.
He's brilliant. He's a brilliant marketer himself. So it's to be in marketing with your CEO who can code things and gets excited about that is pretty awesome. But I think one of the things we learned, a really hard lesson, and I think a lot of brands learned this lesson when Facebook, when that what was that, a couple of years ago now? Almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah, almost 3 years ago.
We had put a lot of our eggs in the paid social basket and the meta basket, and man, that hurt us when all of a sudden we couldn't, really understand our audience and their behavior.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely I mean, forget even like you just having an app, right? Like
Right.
now, because obviously that kind of solves for that, like of understanding your audience. But like you as like a brand marketer,
Right.
what advice would you like walking into like forget diaper, just
Right.
walking into that situation? Like what if you don't have a digitally native CEO, or
Yeah, that's
like
true.
how do you solve for those things?
Man,
A
I
lot
think
of
that,
places.
yeah, I think that's, I know, I sometimes realize that I have it really good with that.
I mean, I'm amazed by it. I'm like, dang, that's awesome.
Especially as the consumer is demanding a very customized experience,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
the expectation of our consumer now, is a very custom tailored experience.
Yeah. Well, the rise of AI at that
Right.
too, it's like
Yeah.
the rise of AI now is like forcing us, even if you weren't thinking about personalization, you better be thinking about personalization because AI
Right.
can like help you with it. But then it's still, even if you involve AI, it's not always personalized.
So I'm going to say something that might make all of your listeners roll their eyes.
No, you're good. Is this a safe space
Is
here?
it safe?
It's a safe space because sometimes I actually think people want to come from me about the way I talk about marketing. So we all have our opinions. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think that more than ever, having consumer insights and doing regular surveying of your consumers is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's both qual and quant. I think you need to utilize big platforms, and there's a lot of different tools out there, but that is something where all of a sudden we're switching some of those marketing dollars to survey more often.
Yep.
And not just asking, have you purchased diapers within the past 6 months, but where did you do it?
Where did you do it? Who are you? What are you doing?
Yep.
What's your lifestyle like? Like all of that.
Asking questions at checkout.
Yep.
Asking questions within the app. Asking as many questions as possible where you're not annoying your consumer and they're not opting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. And then you need a really strong analyst on your team, or you need to take a minute to pause and digest the data. And that's what's, I think, the hardest part about being a challenger brand in a category where you really are fighting for share constantly. And I mean, I guess that's everybody, but CPG is no joke, and is slowing down
Yep.
to speed up. But we are used to just going.
Yeah.
But we've realized we haven't really paused to understand our consumer and what their needs are today.
Right.
It's changing rapidly.
Right. All the time. I think, one, it's changing rapidly. Two, we're also getting a bit lazier with the evolution of AI.
That's
I'll
true.
be real with you, right? Hot take central up in here. Okay?
No, listen, I think everyone would agree.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we're in that, like, that discussion point right now of, like, you're absolutely right. Like, it is surveying your audience. It is understanding your audience in any touch point. Like, I don't care if you're, you have 5 people on your team or if you have 70 people on your team, you have data that's coming into you from your customer. They are emailing you in. They are in your marketing funnels. Like, take the time to, like, simply go even make a Google form if you need to.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the most robust consumer research strategy. You can start small and build upon it, and like truly understanding your product market fit, but also your consumer as you evolve as a company is so important, because your consumer that you have from day 1 with your product on the market to day 5 or like year 5 is going to be different, because of the how much our consumers are evolving, and so many things are at our fingertips. Like the rise of personalization is like really amazing, and I think that gives you a very great brand experience, and we should be all striving to that personalization. But the expectations of that personalization are also rising, meaning like people don't just want to know your name anymore, or you're calling me Alex or Jess, right? I want you to be personalizing offers to me. I want to keep me being loyal to your company.
Yeah, I think everything from Now you're starting to see founder stories. Consumers need to know who the founder is, what they believe, that your values need to be communicated very consistently and frequently. And they're comparing constantly between different retailers, but also different brands, and asking a lot about ingredients. Our consumers are so smart. And I think that that's the thing as a marketer. Sure, we could talk about a lot of different content marketing strategies and ideas and storytelling and all that, but it doesn't mean anything until you really just spend time with your consumer.
Yeah.
And remember that you only exist because they are there. And I've never been more thankful and appreciative of people in CX. I think CX
Thanks, girl.
Yeah. CX is where it's at. I mean, as a marketer, it's, BFF.
Well, I think, absolutely. I think the CX team always, because I mean, that's where I've started my career and then became predominantly a marketer, right? And so I always will have a soft spot for like the service team, the success teams, CX, whichever name you want to call it today, right? But I think what's really interesting is that what's shifting is people not just thinking of CX as just CX and actually thinking about it as a channel that feedback loops and information, as well 100%. As giving like a brand experience to it, But I think that is like a big takeaway, right? Like I see this time and time again. I still continuously see brands hiring like, oh, I need customer service, but then like they never set up analytics. They never set up like the feedback loop of what's actually coming to those channels. Right. You're only thinking about it from a reactive standpoint, but you're not thinking about it about the proactive standpoint.
Right.
If I have a customer who's being reactive right now, let's gather information so then I can be proactive for the other customer before them.
Right. And I think as a marketer, we were more focused on, what's your CAC and what, like thinking through acquiring the customer and that all of those, and just getting the customer in the door and then feeling, I guess you use the word lazy, just so confident we have the best product and like, of course they're going to stay, they're not going to switch. Well, I think now because of accessibility, our consumers wising up to things. I mean, especially in the parenting space. Oh, you use that? Like word of mouth and your friends referring you to different products. It's huge.
Yeah.
Retention's everything.
Everything. Yeah.
And that's a lot of marketing right there.
Your CX is so great. That phrase is so last season at this point because at Customer, we believe in delivering incredible customer experiences. Introducing KIQ Agent Assist, the ultimate CX team AI sidekick built on our CRM to give agents superhero capabilities and efficiency. When building KIQ Agent Assist, we had goals: get rid of long customer wait times and increase the speed of customer resolution. Provide the CS team with real-time data for personalized prompts, delegate mundane tasks for AI, and free up your agents. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to deliver more. Check out KIQ Agent Assist amazing features, the suggested responses, the automatic two-way translation in 53 languages, and conversation summaries. Upgrade your customer experience with KIQ Agent Assist. Try it today and see the difference. Customer delivering incredible CX every time.
I think what's really interesting is that a lot of times people think of retention as just like, oh, my upsells or my win backs or all of these other things. But you don't think about like retention as an all-encompassing of like your brand experience, your customer experience, the analytics that go into it, the segmenting that goes on. Okay, maybe there's actually, I take it back. Like there is like definitely segmentation, but it's not just, retention isn't just about, okay, how do I close the loop and get them to come back from a win back email? It's literally like being innovative and thinking about it from like building an app, right? Building a dope subscription program and like really just constantly evolving what your customer's journey is to loop them back.
And it's unique to your product or your service because one of the things that I learned, I think a lot of people have come into specifically the diapering space thinking, oh yeah, I know this. This is, we're just going to take everything I know about cool brand marketing and we're going to apply it to diapers. Well, the thing is that still over 60% of all diapers are still sold brick and mortar between Target and Walmart alone. There's something about the customer behavior where it is not changing as far as they like to pick up the box of diapers at the store.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so then there's a lot of brand storytelling and things that you have to do on pack, like
Right.
on the actual box itself.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, again, you're the expert in the space, but like, and I'm really just giving a viewpoint from the outside looking into it. But yes, I do believe that, because think about it. Think about that consumer, right? I'm a dad, I'm a new mom, whatever. Oh shoot, I just ran out of diapers. Like, I got to go just run to the store and go
Right.
get them. Right.
Right.
But then like, the same way you think about yourself on the shelf, right? Like in any product, it's not even just diapers. Like think about deodorant, right? Deodorant, many choices on the shelf.
That's true.
So many choices, so many different color schemes. There's like native that's white. Then there's degree that's like greenish blue.
Yeah, minty green.
Yeah, minty green. Like, I don't know. There's Dr. Squatch. Like, there's this, there's that, you know. There's so many. You walk into that aisle and there's so many different choices. How do you stand out as just a deodorant company, right? Like,
Right.
so it's the same type of concept of like, how do you stand out when you're walking down the diaper aisle and there's so many different choices? At that point, it does come down to packaging. It comes down to like, how do you stand out on the shelf? What I'm interested to know, because we did a large series of this with Feastables, when Feastables went through a rebrand. Did you go through any sort of like consumer research stages with that packaging? And like, could you talk to us about like just the tactics and like what you did there?
Definitely a lot of research there. Years of research.
Yeah. Years of research. It's not just
Yes.
overnight.
Yes. I think we started, for background for the listeners, we started D2C like a lot of brands do before we entered retail. And we were D2C for 3 years before we entered retail. So we thought we knew everything. We were really proud of ourselves for the rapid growth that we had and the fact that we were talking to the nation's largest retailer. They were interested in us. Walmart, oh my gosh, we know what's up. And then we entered Walmart and we realized we need to rebrand because we had made bamboo diapers really large and our name small. Mm-hmm. And so people thought our name was Bamboo Diapers.
Yeah.
And so there were a lot of mistakes that we made with our packaging because it didn't really matter when it's D2C. They were receiving marketing materials. They knew our name that way. But then, So we spent a lot of time working with an agency, but also just, internally looking at other people within the space, our competitors, and trying to figure out what is really going to make us stand out on shelf. Everything from the color yellow, which was already a brand color for us because it's gender neutral. It's very bright and happy. There are a lot of reasons why we chose yellow, but it was great because there wasn't another yellow brand available in the aisle. So that was first like a good, like lucky win.
Yeah.
But we purposely did not put people on our packaging. A lot of the other brands have parents and babies and it's very soft and cushy, and we decided that's not our brand voice. Our brand voice is very much about science and research and independent testing and just being straightforward and transparent. So we went with more of our story around responsible diapering and a giraffe. We have a giraffe named Frankie, but it's just yellow and craft, like a craft brown, and black text. And we put B Corp front and center because we feel that that's what our ideal customer cares about. They know what B Corp is. And focus more on ingredients and putting what was in our diapers right on the front of the box.
Yeah.
That was very different too. So we did a lot of research of what other brands were doing, and then we took that back and we digested it as in what are our brand values, and this is what we're going to put out there. Did we know if it was going to truly resonate and make boxes fly off shelves? No.
Yeah.
But we did do research of like, okay, where does the environmental claims sit among the drivers of purchase? It is still lower price is still number one.
Right.
And then efficacy. It has to work. If it doesn't work, you're not going to buy it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, and softness matters a lot. So those were things we realized, oh, okay. So I guess even though we care a lot about the environment, we still have to address like their main pain points.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about the environment as much as we can.
Right.
So that's kind of how we ended up with Simply Kind diapers, because it communicated it's simple, it's kind to the planet, and then these are kindness pillars. And now people know us as the yellow box, which is great.
So we're talking a lot about the packaging and the positioning of particular like words and
Yes.
and call outs.
Yes.
But you're also really like hammering home the brand messaging too.
Right.
Yeah, so like what you're talking about is also like the positioning of your brand messaging, right?
Right.
And so I know we're talking a lot about retail too, but like we're talking about retail and we're talking about D2C. Well, we were talking about D2C before, but what I'm curious is like, did you change any of the sort of like brand positioning and messaging on D2C as well during this phase?
Yes. So when we knew that we were headed towards this direction to address our packaging failures with retail, we realized, no, this is something that we need to make sure transcends all of our outlets and communication outlets and so that, because if say that you are someone that's a subscriber with us, but you put a month on pause because you're traveling and then you go pick up our brand over at Walmart. I mean, we know that the consumer sometimes picks us up at different spots, or we're on Amazon too.
Everywhere. You're an omni-channel brand.
We're omni-channel. So we needed to make sure that we were driving being as cohesive as possible. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, it's incredibly hard. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly hard to keep your brand consistent once you start getting into so many different retailers.
Absolutely.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is my first time on brand side.
Yeah. I think, no, and I agree with you. I think it's very common for so many different brands to feel that way too, right? Because it's exactly what we're talking about. What resonates in one place might not resonate in another place.
Right.
And you have so many channels, right? But like we sit here and we preach about like, okay, your consumer's journey needs to be consistent.
Right.
But then once you get into retail, you can't control it. I mean, not even just retail, like Amazon too, right? Like Amazon has its own rules, its own expectations, right? And so it's like you can't control it in the one funnel that you do have, which is your website. You can change the messaging all day long if you wanted to on a PDP.
Right. Yep.
So, but I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think it's really hard to stay consistent across your entire brand experience. But when you do, you can continue hammering home your values and your mission of your brand. But I think you have to think about each channel so differently.
You do. And then think about how long it takes for you to update packaging.
Oh, yeah.
So once you go to market with it and it's in stores, and then you start talking differently on a different channel, you're risking fragmenting your brand.
Right.
But then at the same time, you need to maybe make some changes because you maybe gleaned some consumer insights where something's going to work. It's really hard. It's like, do we stay beholden to these things because our packaging says that and we're, nationwide in Walmart, or do we start iterating now over here? Do we do a clean cut and take all of that packaging off and put new on, or do we sell off that? Like there's so many different ways to go about it.
Yeah. And
there's not necessarily a right and wrong way. It just is kind of doing like that cost benefit analysis and just making the choice. And so for most of us at Dyper, this is our first time in the diaper game. Mm-hmm. I think there's one person, two people that have worked with another diaper brand before. That's it.
That's crazy.
So we're not only
you're just figuring it out.
We are figuring it out. But in some ways, it's good to look at things with fresh eyes, right? Mm-hmm. And to not think, to be successful is to not think that there's a silver bullet, to accept that there is not. Yeah. And then to say, well, how are we, the innovation is really where we've leaned in. Like we're gonna we're just going to be the most innovative diaper company there is. That's really like, again, coming to our values and what we're good at and what we want to do in the space is of course, the environment is part of that value, but we launched a charcoal diaper.
Interesting.
It's a black, it looks black.
Yeah.
It's the coolest diaper. It's not colored with any dyes or chemicals. It's colored with charcoal, which is, a natural ingredient, and you can still compost it into dirt, which is amazing. And it looks like a Calvin Klein diaper. It's so cool.
I love that.
And like, why not? How can we
How
come
chic.
up? Yeah, and how can we address this whole demand that consumers have for something that's cool and fashionable and has cute prints? Well, how do we do it in a way that aligns with our values but offers something new? Okay, this is what we did. And we sold it on Target.com.
Yeah. So just.com?
Target.com, yep. I mean, see how we do there, That's always
Yeah, but I think
the start.
But again, yeah.
Versus rushing into the
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like instead of rushing in and saying,
Right.
okay, this is all of my inventory in all of these places, right? Instead, you're testing out specific channels to see how it performs.
Right. And Amazon, we just actually brought that product line over to Amazon too.
Interesting.
Recently.
So and I'm curious if you even know this yet, between Target.com and Amazon.com, are you seeing any different types of consumer behaviors?
Not necessarily different consumer behaviors, but it's doing well on Amazon.
Yeah. So that's a good testing point though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something that we haven't mentioned, but we were talking about off camera.
Okay.
And we're going to switch complete gears. It's not just about diaper.
Downshifting?
Downshifting.
Okay.
Because on this podcast, we also gas people up individually. And I want to talk about fun fact about Alex. She has over 1 million followers on social. And I think that that's like really awesome from like a personal brand perspective. And I'd love for you to tell a little bit of that story about you were telling me about Pinterest and stuff.
Yes. Yes, that's a fun fact. It's a good party story.
It's a good party story.
So I have a really unique journey to getting to the brand side of things. I started as a creator back in 2010. So right at the beginning of the influencer wasn't even a word like that. You never heard that. Definitely never heard creator economy. None of this jargon. It was the Wild West, and I was blogging. So I had a WordPress blog, and that was what people did back then. And Twitter was there, and Facebook was there, and Instagram, was around. But Twitter definitely was like the hot one.
Now X.
Now X. Oh, things change.
14 years later.
Yeah. So I've always been someone that's quick to adopt new technologies, and I like beta testing, and I just a nerd. And I had a fashion styling business here in Arizona, and a fashion blog on the side. So I went to this conference called Altitude Summit, and it was for bloggers, and I was there just trying to learn about how to be better at blogging. And there was a man walking around named Ben Silberman, who's the founder of Pinterest, and this is like everyone's a woman except for this one person, so he just stuck out, and he's very shy and very humble and kind, by the way. And he was trying to get people interested in this app, but there didn't seem to be a lot of appetite, so he finally his friend convinces him to come to this conference and tell people about it. And I get this invite to beta test Pinterest. And as I'm using it, I think, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I no longer have to carry stacks of magazines like a virtual bookmarking tool. And so for me, I saw the application as a way to streamline my business. And I started making boards for my clients. And I got an email from Enid, who was the third hire at Pinterest, and she said, "We love what you're doing. Ben likes what you're doing on Pinterest. Would you be interested in curating a fall trends board?" Wow. I said, it was like one of those, like, she's all that, like, moment, like, are you talking to me? Because I am not, compared to the fashion elite in New York or LA. Arizona isn't it?
You're like, I'm just hanging out in the burbs over here.
You think I'm good? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just was really excited, and of course just jumped at the chance of offering what I could to this tool I fell in love with. And I started seeing the ticker go up.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I was looking at it, I thought, man, there's a lot of people. It's like 30,000 people. And then it just kept climbing and climbing, and my inbox kept getting stuffed with notifications of people following me.
Wow.
And then eventually it hit 1 million. And then I got emails from Revlon and Glamour. I was hosting parties at the Beverly Hills Hotel with strangers. I didn't even know they were flying me out. Refinery 29 called me and said, do you want to host a room with 29 rooms? And Coca-Cola was calling.
Wow.
And every brand that I was dreaming of working with as a fashion stylist that was in Arizona, all my dreams came true in a minute. And
Yeah.
but never once, though, did I think, I should put my own content out there. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think about pinning my own content. I was just having fun sharing stuff that I would find on Nordstrom and then I was watching it sell out in a second.
That's so nuts.
It was great. It was when
true
chronological
influencer.
Yeah, it's chronological feed. No, impression based or engagement based feed. It was you share something and immediately it was sent to all those people, and then it would sell out in seconds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, affiliate marketing at that time, I was making really good money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I bet it's so new, uncapped probably.
Yeah, there weren't agents. I wasn't negotiating deals. I was just saying yes for free. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could get paid for it.
Yeah.
And then you realize an agency reached out, wanted to represent me, and then I started dealing with contracts and started understanding, working with Coca-Cola as maybe a 90-day pay cycle, things like that. On the business side, you start learning, and then, eventually pioneering the content creation side, because I didn't really want to be the next Oprah. I wanted to make cool content and started white labeling content for Target and Home Depot, and really loving it and honing my skills as a stylist, then art director and creative director, which then when I went through kind of a big life change personally, I went through a divorce, became a single mom. I realized I need more stability than what freelancing can provide. Even though this is great and fun, I can't pay my bills with shampoo and, and so I thought, well, I'm going to take these skills and I'm going to pivot quickly into agency life. And so I started working on influencer marketing agency on the agency side. And it was super easy for me to just, I brought in, Ralph's was a client, Ralph's grocery store, Smith's, Kroger.
Yeah. And that's how you ended up.
And that's how I got in that. And then I ended up being a creative director for Road Trippers, which was a road trip application that got acquired by Thor Industries.
Road Trippers.
Yeah.
We're probably the same age range.
Yes. Yeah, turning 40 this year.
I'm not turning 40, I'm turning 39, but the Botox has done me well. Okay. Let's put it out there. Fun fact.
I don't have to wear glasses now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a whole career out of it, but it's really helped me going from creator to agency to brand.
Yeah.
Now I have this unique career experience where I can empathize with each, and I know how to be a good client. I know what the expectations are of our creators. I know also now I can empathize with the brand side and how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But it's really rewarding being on the brand side, because for once I can really see the needle move.
Yeah.
You can't see it when you are freelancing in your agency.
You really can't. And it's like you feel like, because I also, one of the pillars of my life besides customer is I also accidentally started an agency and accidentally hired a bunch of people to run that agency. But you're absolutely right of like, it's really fun, like creating and doing things for brands, right? And like being engulfed in it and like from the agency side. But at the same time, it's so different than actually being a brand, right? Like
so different.
So different than being a brand, where it's like you really can see that like change as you go in the brand. And then on the agency side, it's like, you're helping, you're contributing, you're doing the things, but at the same time, it's like, it's just different. And I think there's no right or wrong with it. I actually love all the sides, you know.
Me
I'm in
too.
B2B now. Like,
Yeah.
I love that side of it. I
Yeah.
love this side. I love brand side. I love all of it. I just think it's like you, just different perspectives that have created a full-on career for myself.
Yeah, I talk a lot about now so, I didn't get rid of my 1 million followers. I still have them, but I spend most of my time doing brand work. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do with this community that I have that has really been with me well over a decade? And I started just sharing my life as people have seen me pivot many times.
Yeah.
I realized, I'm creating a personal brand around the idea of reinvention, because that's a whole new opportunity for us in the age that we're in, is that you can reinvent yourself as many times as you want.
Yeah.
And that's a new thing.
I know you're absolutely right. And I love it.
I love it too.
Like, I mean, I feel like we have to have a whole other episode.
That's true.
But I will say that, like, a lot of people know my past too. Like, went to art school, worked a lot in like customer service, customer success, product marketing, then e-com, then like, doing this, doing that, like back to B2B now, like doing like content and evangelism work for customer, and also have this agency. But my point is like, you can have so many different pillars in your life under your own personal brand, and it's absolutely okay. Like, you don't have to have one definitive career path forever. Like, you can try on different stuff. And I think it's really awesome, even on your career path, like doing the creator realm, working in the agency, being a creative director, and now doing brand marketing. Like, girl, like, so much about that brand, how to build a brand from a strategic and experience point of view.
I do. And I think that it's still hard sometimes, as you're talking to people and advocating, you have your own personal narratives, right? And how you communicate. I used to get down on myself thinking, man, I have such a squiggly career path. Like, I'm not going to be good at you kind of want to be good at one thing, but you realize, no, there is so much power in being a multifaceted creative, and how much all of those different experiences inform my role as a VP of brand for this company. And sure, there might be a lot more to learn ahead of me, given that this is the first time I've really been on the brand side compared to maybe someone who's the same age as me who's only done brand.
Right.
But how many people can say that they built a following to 1 million followers on their own, or to do these brand deals on their, like, I have to remember and not diminish the wins that I've had, same with you, that you've had along the way that make you worthy of the position that you are today. Imposter syndrome is a real thing. Yeah. But no more shitting all over ourselves. Yeah. And it's what makes you stand out. Yeah. And so, I have no idea if I'll always stay brand side. I have no idea. Today it works.
Tomorrow you could be a CEO of your own brand.
Let's do it. I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, I don't want anyone to hear that and think I'm leaving. I'm not. I'm staying.
She's not ready to do that. The point is, in 10 years, you don't know.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I think I worked with a career coach last fall because I was starting to feel like these parts of me were warring with each other. Like, I needed to choose, do I want to go back to being a full-time creator and creative and working for myself, or do I had like one of those moments of, I don't know what am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? I think we have those every now and then.
All the time.
And so I hired this career coach. We did 4 sessions later, and she said, why can't they both coexist? Why are you so set on one or the other? And I thought, okay. Yeah, what does it look like for them both to coexist and to stay in my life and let them work together, not fight each other?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can have many different fucking hats. Yeah. You have all the fucking hats you want.
Yeah.
I
think that I just don't want to bring that that energy that we're, because I think a lot of us are tired.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I could use
I'm tired too, I promise you.
So I think it's also like, okay, what does it look like to have a full and also balanced life? I don't believe balance is a unicorn. I think balance is something that you choose and create for yourself. It just might look different on different days. So what does that really look like for me? Well, that still looks like maybe 80 to 90% of my work hours are this, and then I like do some, work on the side.
Yeah.
It's not. It is also just opening my mind of how they can coexist and like what the actual expectations are.
Yeah.
Of myself, because I don't want to bring that hustle. I'm in the soft ambition era.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm in the hard ambition era.
I'm trying.
Girl. Yeah. I think that's a whole other podcast about hustle culture and everything else,
Yeah, hustle culture. I'm tired.
I am very tired, but I think I can't, and maybe it's because we're millennials, we can't break it. I literally don't know how to break it.
I have to. I don't think I can have a sty in my eye.
I know. If you're viewing it,
it's right there. This is from stress.
We both are experiencing some stuff right now. Well, Alex, I really appreciate you coming on. And before we depart, please tell the audience where they can find you.
Yeah, I'd love for you to find me over on LinkedIn. It's just my name, Alexandra Vailas. And I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. It's AVE Styles. And no, I did not brand myself in the right way.
It works. Now you can't change your name.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I guess I could, but I haven't. So it's AVE Styles because that's how I started. That's how I started on Instagram.
Got it. Cool. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. And to everybody out there listening or viewing in, I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.
Hey, wow, you made it to the end of the episode. That means that you like me and I like you, which also means you should subscribe to this show.